Article! Hey, it's the weather is turning. It's getting warm out there, and if you're looking to upgrade your outdoor furniture setup, look no further than Article. Nally and I just got a couple wonderful new pieces from Article. They're amazing. They're incredible. The quality is insane. They combine the curation of a boutique furniture store with the comfort and simplicity of shopping online. Its fast, affordable shipping is available across the U.S. and Canada, and is free on orders over $999. All in-stock items are delivered in 2 weeks or less. That's the best part. Nally and I ordered the Article furniture like a week ago, already out in our lawn. They come, they set it up. It was amazing. Article cuts out the middleman and sells directly to you. No showrooms, no salespeople, no retail markups. Save up to 30% over traditional retail prices. Article is offering our listeners $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. To claim, visit article.com/VIALL and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout. That's article.com/VIALL.com/VIALL for $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more.
You're crazy.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a very special edition of the Viall Files Ask Nick edition. I'm your host, Nick, joined by the household of Allie, Amanda, and Derek, and a special Ask Nick guest. We don't do a lot of special guests for Ask Nick, but we thought it'd be appropriate given who this guest is, the one, the only Tinx.
Woo! Hi, guys.
We love an icon who has a first name only basis. Jealous, obviously. Can't just be Nick.
Your last name is like the hook of your whole show, though.
It's a shitty last name, though.
It's
and
not.
People are confused by it. No one knows how to say it.
But that's good because then it's like keeps
memorable.
the people talking.
Yeah. We
We
love to see the positives.
Gets the people good. That's where I was going.
Tinks, how you doing? Welcome
I'm
back.
good. Thank you for having me.
Congratulations on your book.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
Tell us about it. What was the inspiration?
This is the book that I needed when I was 19 and 24 and 28 and still need to read now, honestly. It is a guidebook for self-esteem, especially in the context of dating. It's all about how you need to fill up your cup first and know yourself and then date from a place of true abundance mindset, and how you really focus on your own life and gratitude and really making yourself happy. Better people drop in and it's just easier and more fun.
What is your favorite chapter in the book? Like, what is something that it was kind of like when you're writing it, like an aha moment? You're like, you know what, this is a part I really am proud of, or I really think like if someone incorporates this, they'll have way more success.
I really like the chapter on, there's a section on breadcrumbing, because in my 20s, that is all I ate. I was on an all breadcrumb diet in dating. I just loved it, accepted it, thought that was the way it should be. And it's a very funny section, if I do say so myself. So it's just about like a fake text conversation of a guy breadcrumbing and how, you know, you could accept that if you are accepting the bare minimum, which I did for many years of my life.
And for the people, I mean, we've heard the term breadcrumbing out there, and, you know, there's probably a lot of different definitions out there. But from your point of view, how would you describe that? And what do you mean about living on a breadcrumbing diet?
It's when you're dating someone and they are essentially passively responding to you. So, you know, I hear a lot from my followers like, oh, but he watched my Instagram story. Like, oh, he sent a fire emoji, or like, oh, he sent WYD, like, or something like that. It's just passively just volleying, not even volleying the ball back, just rolling the ball back. And you on the other end are like, he rolled the ball back. He rolled the freaking ball back. We are getting married in Tuscany next year. I'm planning the wedding. And that was me my entire 20s, where I just thought that was it. And it turns out that when you say no to that, you can find people that are actually into you, actually want to spend time with you.
Love that. I know there's a chapter in your book about main character, being the main character.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, main character energy. I think it originated on TikTok, but I think it's so important as a concept because, I mean, oftentimes in dating, you will start waiting around for someone who doesn't care about you, and when you do that, you're elevating them to main character status in your life, and it's so important to remember that you are the main character of your life. And when you wait for someone, or when you accept less than you deserve, or when you accept the bare minimum, you're literally saying, no, this character is more important in the Netflix movie of my life. And it's like, no, like, you're the director. You're also starring, like, you're writing this plot. You need to push that person out to make way for a great secondary character who's worthy of your time.
The reason I asked that, because I think the main character concept is fascinating, because I agree with that. Like, it is YOLO, we have one life or whatever, but like, because we sometimes forget that at the end of the day, like, we just have to make the most of it, and like, this is the one life that we have. At the same time, lately I've been on this kick that I think we are experiencing a main character epidemic in this world.
Totally. And
of our ability to make every situation about us.
Yeah.
And that will also can get us stuck. So how have you learned, as you've gotten older and wiser, balanced out being able to turn on that main character switch when we need to remind ourselves that we should expect to be treated in the right way, that, you know, we don't need to seek out validation and things like that, and we need to stand up for ourselves and set boundaries, versus a time where there's something else going on in the world, and maybe that's not the moment to make the situation about us, and we need to be more empathetic and considerate to others.
I think you make a great point. And there is, I mean, I think it's honestly more to do with social media, that everyone thinks that like their life is the most important and everyone has a personal brand. But the way I think about it is like, okay, say your life is a movie, you're the main character, you're the director. It's like, don't you want your main character to be an amazing friend? Don't you want your main character to know when to shut up and listen? Don't you want your main character to be like, wow, there's actually bigger shit going on in the world than my little problem. I'm going to step back and like, we'll talk about this. And that can all be part of your movie. And those can all be important scenes where your main character learns how to, you know, be a great friend and listen and all that stuff. It's just, it's like healthy ego. It's like knowing when to say, no, I need to enforce this boundary. Like, this person isn't texting me back. Like, they're not good for me. And it's also knowing when to say, God, my friend's going through a really hard time. Like, I need to shut up and like just sit with them in this moment.
Yeah, because I feel like the first thing I learned in film school was that a story or a movie is all about transformation. And so it's like, I think it can be so easy to kind of confuse main character with like, I'm always right.
Right.
Like, my initial gut reaction to any given situation is inherently correct. And anybody who invalidates that is wrong and attacking me in an adversary, as opposed to like you're saying about this like discernment.
You want your main character to have an arc and learn stuff and make mistakes and say, humbled. I'm sorry, like I screwed up, or like I was the asshole in this situation, or whatever. But I think in the context of dating, it's just knowing when to be like, I put this guy on a pedestal and he hasn't texted me for 2.5 weeks. Like, we need to do some rearranging in the cast members of the movie right now.
Well, we have some great calls lined up that we have Tinks aboard to help us shift through. All right, before we get to our first call, I know we have something you want to discuss.
Yeah,
Amanda.
I was especially excited for Tinks to be here, because I feel like in your 20s, like, not only is there this like dating navigation that needs to happen, but also with friendships as those evolve and change. And someone wrote in with like a kind of simple scenario that I think extends to a larger question about like how you manage friendships and like the ebbs and flows and changes. And so this person wrote in and said, I had a friend from childhood into my college years that I thought I was really close with. We didn't see each other often after high school, but whenever we connected, it was like no time had passed. When the big moments in my life, engagement, marriage, pregnancy, were announced on social media, she was always the first one to reach out to congratulate and support me. But when I had events for those big moments, bridal shower, wedding, baby shower, she never showed or acknowledged them. Now, when she reaches out, I don't respond, because if she can't be there for my big moments, why do I need her as a friend? Am I wrong for ghosting the friendship?
So I often say that I don't think friendship is made in the big moments. Like, I think it's wrong to, you know, question an entire friendship because someone can't make it to your wedding or whatnot. However, in this case, I will say it's weird she wasn't able to make it to all three. I would love to know if there was like a gift or a note sent or what have you, but it's difficult.
Yeah, because I think from the wording where she says she never showed or acknowledged them.
So then no.
It's,
Well, that's the thing too. And like, I had a friend who recently, again, like childhood friend, we're not super close anymore, but she had a bachelorette party and then she got married on the East Coast, like outside of DC. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to your wedding, but then I can't also fly for a bachelorette. I can't do both. So I sent her like a little Mrs. bag and whatever, as if like, sorry, I can't be there. But I'm like, financially, time-wise, I can't do both. But yeah, I agree with Tinks of all three and without an acknowledgement.
I think it's like, I don't think it's wrong to ghost. I think it's just like friendships ebb and flow so much. It's like one of the most painful things that we don't talk about enough is like those transitions from childhood to 20s to 30s. Like your friends really move around a lot. I mean,
Totally.
It does sound like 3 strikes you're out kind of thing. I don't know.
Just in life, I'm not a big believer in burning bridges.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I think in this particular situation, and I love when we had Ronnie Wu on a couple weeks ago, what he said about like in dating, like give off the energy that you want to receive, right? So don't wait 3 days to text them back if you want them to respond right away, you know? And if they play the game, that's their problem, not you. So like give them the behavior that they want to emulate.
Like don't try to beat them at their own game.
Right.
Don't
So
play
to
the
speak,
game.
right? So I don't know if like calling her out or is it going to do anything. You're welcome to reach out and say that hurt my feelings. You
Totally.
know? It bothered me. But to Tinks's point, yeah, like big life changes, you know, can drastically alter friendships. You know, for example, I have a friend, right? You know, we've been friends for years, but our relationship has changed over time. We went in a period where we were all hanging out, and then me and my girlfriend at the time broke up, and I was out there single and he was single, and it got like weirdly competitive for a period of time. And I was at that time, you know, I was comfortable with my singleness. I was, you know, and he was less comfortable with him being single. He was kind of rubbing me the wrong way because it was like every time we'd walk into a bar, he'd look around and be like, this place sucks, let's go. And it was just like, he was just like hunting for like women all the time. I was like, can we just like hang out? And it's got contentious. So we grew apart a little bit, you know, and we just kind of we just stopped hanging out as much. There wasn't a falling out. There wasn't some sort of intervention. I wasn't like, we're not friends anymore. And a couple years go by, you know, but then we reconnected, you know, and then he kind of was in a more healthier mental state. And I started hanging out with, we became closer than friends I was hanging out with at the time where we lost distance. To Tinks's point, there are ebbs and flows. So I don't know if we necessarily need to have some big like friendship breakup because of this, you know. Is it a fireable offense? I don't think so. And again, we don't know what they might be going through.
Totally.
Is it selfish of them? Sure. But like, I bet they have a reason why,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, that's the thing too. We don't know what the friend is going through.
Totally.
And so
I
maybe
wish
the wedding and the baby shower are too much.
Yeah, like for whatever reason, like maybe she just couldn't swing it and she was like embarrassed and didn't know what to say. I like literally 20% of the questions that I get on my show is like, I can't go to this wedding and I'm freaking out. I don't know how to tell them I can't afford it. And it's like, there's a lot of awkwardness around weddings and babies and money and that kind of stuff. Like maybe if she did want to reach out because friends are, you know, important, and just throw the olive branch and been like, you know, hey, I love you. I wish you'd been there for my wedding. Like everything good, or just wanted to check in, like, or, you know, and maybe that friend would have said back, dude, I'm so sorry. I just like, I'm going through a tough time right now. I can't swing it. I'm sorry. I was embarrassed. I didn't know what to say. I agree with Nick. I wouldn't ghost altogether.
I also think, yeah, it sounds like she's, you know, reaches out when important things pop up on social media.
Right.
And I'm like, how hard is it to just shoot back a thanks? It doesn't seem like it's necessarily taking a ton out of.
And they don't see each other that much. So maybe it's just kind of, maybe she felt like, the other friend maybe felt like, like, I don't really see her that much. Like, I'm so happy for her in these big moments, but like, we'd never hang anymore. I just like, I feel awkward going to the wedding or whatever. It wasn't right to not respond. Like, it's just, how hard is it to be like, hey, like, I'm so sorry I can't come, but like, I'm sending a gift. I'm so happy for you.
There are literally RSVPs for weddings.
Literally.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
It's just a box tick of,
Yeah.
nope, can't
Regretfully.
come. Regretfully, no. But you never know. People get in their heads. I'm sure all of us have inadvertently forgotten to RSVP to something or whatever, and someone takes it personally. I just think that like, I'm in a place in my life now where I over communicate to friends who matter to me, because with text, social media, a million other things, it's so easy to get wires crossed, and it's easy to just be like, hey, I'm inviting you to this, but I know you live far away and you just had a baby. I'm okay. Seriously, don't worry about coming or whatever. Just, you know, make those overtures, because they can be really helpful and like a nice way to massage a friendship.
And when it comes to friendships, I think it's always good to just reset our expectations that we have of friends with ourselves, right? Because sometimes if we expect too much, we can get disappointed. And it doesn't mean you don't have a right to be disappointed, as we've kind of covered, but just, hey, we've lost touch. This isn't the friend that I can count on like I used to for X, Y, or Z. And you can be sad or disappointed. And you even have the right to say, hey, listen, I'm bummed. But don't make the mistake of keep having the same expectation of them that you had from 3 years ago. The dynamic might have changed. And you might be in 2 or 3 years from now, change that expectation again to come further. You know, again, it changes. We have different priorities. And yeah, it's just like when they have other things going on in their life as well, like you do, that's when I think main character syndrome can kind of get in the way of, because in your mind, hey, you're getting married, you have all these important life decisions. And
So
to you,
true.
you're thinking, why didn't this is my day. And like it is, but like, don't let other people's lives and their priorities and with things they're going through get in the way of you enjoying it just because they didn't meet your expectations.
Totally. Something that I feel like I struggle with a lot is just like having a lot of friends who are like, I feel like I'm in a lot of long distance relationships with my friendships. And I feel like something that you've talked about, Tinks, is like kind of boyfriend island, and like particularly how once dating gets involved, how there can be that kind of different kind of like resentment or like hurt that can fester. And I'm curious, like for you, how you go about like kind of defining at what point, you know, at a certain point, if you want to make space for a relationship in your life, like friendships are going to change and it's healthy and natural, versus, oh, you're diving into a relationship in a way that's deprioritizing your friends and kind of being disloyal.
I just think it's so important for people to maintain their friendships when they're in relationships. Like, I really, really am a strong believer in that. I think it actually helps the relationship. And look, we've all been guilty of boyfriend sickness, and like there are levels to it. Everyone gets a little mild case when they have a new boyfriend, but like, I think it's important because ultimately, and I'm not saying this in a negative Nancy way, but you don't know what's going to happen. And it's amazing to find a partner and be head over heels in love. But like your friends, I think especially for women too, it's important to have that community around you, because there is going to be a time when your partner's driving you nuts and you need to have a friend moment, or when you have a kid and you want to call up some friends and ask for advice and connect on that level. Like, I just think it's important to give grace, like totally give grace. Your friend has a new boyfriend. She's totally head over heels for him. Okay, let her go do it. But keep those channels open. And again, communicate and be like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Like, let's just do a girls thing. Like, let's hang out on Saturday afternoon. Like, are you free? Like, just if a friend is important to you, go the extra 2 steps. Like, make sure that those channels of communication are open. And just like give people grace. I think most people are trying to do their best.
Yeah, especially with like an initiation. Like I feel like one initiating like friend, like let's hang out, let's see each other, like a thoughtful, intentional, like I want to prioritize and plan you, makes up for so many like slow responses or like inadequate ones.
And you're so right about the resentment, because it builds so quickly. All of a sudden, like, you know, someone has a new boyfriend and they're like gone for 3 months, and then all of a sudden it's like, you look at your text and you're like, they haven't texted me in 3 months. And like the green monster comes out, and it's like, instead, just like stop, switch it and be like, hey, I really miss you. Like, you know, there's that thing on Instagram where it's like, if you miss someone, tell them. If you love someone, tell them. Like, whatever. It's just like, it's that simple. Like, instead of being angry or like making it about you, just be like, oh, I really miss you. Like, can we catch up? And it will totally disarm the situation. Take the air out of the tires, because on some level, if you have boyfriend sickness, you know, and you feel guilty because you're kind of like ignoring your friends a little bit, but you like can't help it because you're so in love with him or whatever. So I'm really about just like going with love, switching up the vibe.
Love that. What a great discussion. Tinks, before we get to our callers, can you please let the audience know where they can get your book, all that fun stuff?
Yes.
You know, the title.
My book, The Shift, is available at theshift-book.com. I can't wait for you all to read it. I'm so excited.
Be sure to check it out, especially if you've read or loved Don't Text Your Ex Happy Birthday. I promise you will enjoy Tinks' book as well. All right. Drizly, the most convenient way to buy beer, wine, and spirits with delivery to your doorstep in under 60 minutes. That's right. Drizly is the #1 app for alcohol delivery. Super easy, super convenient. We've been to so many parties where the fun is through the roof, and so much that you did not buy enough of beer, wine, or spirits to get you through that party. and then someone has to leave and like ruin the vibe, or they just, they don't want to leave the party. No one wants to leave the party they're having fun at. Well, you just go to Drizly, that's right, and get an assortment of beer, wine, and spirits. They have such a huge variety. Also, it's really, maybe you get invited to a party and you just can't make it. You don't have time to stop by. Well, you can go to the Drizly app, order them a nice bottle of red, have it delivered to their doorstep in under 60 minutes. And even though you can't be there, you can be there in spirit with some spirits. I can't say enough about Drizly. It's such a wonderful, convenient app for all the people who just want to stay at the party or stay at home, but maybe want to have a cocktail or two that night, but not want to go out. So download the Drizly app today. It's the #1 app for alcohol delivery. That's right. The most convenient way to buy beer, wine, and spirits with delivery to your doorstep in under 60 minutes. Download the Drizly app or go to drizly.com. That is DRIZLY.com. Drizly.com. Helix Sleep. I got a DM from a listener a couple days ago, and there was a text conversation between them and their friends, and they went on and on about like how they just got a Helix mattress, and they bought it because of my recommendation. And they said it was the best. They were talking to their girlfriend, and they were saying how their husband thought it was the best purchase they have ever made. They are obsessed with their Helix mattress. I cannot say enough about this mattress. Every time Nally and I travel, the best part about our vacation is coming home and laying on our soft Helix mattress, because it's truly the most incredible mattress in the world. We will never sleep on another mattress for the rest of our life. I don't care how long we are lucky enough to promote this golden mattress. Helix has something for everyone. Doesn't matter if you're a back sleeper, side sleeper, sleep hot, sleep cold. They have up to 14 different designs, so they kind of covers everyone. Big and tall sleepers, even mattresses just for kids. That's right. And to make sure that you get a mattress that matches your needs, you just go to helixsleep.com and you take their Helix Sleep quiz and find the perfect mattress in under 2 minutes. And your personalized mattress is shipped straight to your door, free of charge. You get 100-night trials. You sleep on it 100 nights, bounce on it, sleep on it, doesn't matter. If you don't love it, you can return it. So to get the greatest mattress ever made, go to helixsleep.com. Helix is offering 20% off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners. Just go to helixsleep.com/VIALL. This is their best offer yet, and it won't last long. That's helixsleep.com/VIALL for 20% off. With Helix, better sleep starts now. Also, don't forget, for all you update lovers out there, we have an update special for you dropping on Viall Files Classic, so everyone gets to hear it. That's dropping this Friday. And if you love your updates, don't forget we dropped 2 more update specials behind Viall Files Plus. Also, programming note for next week, because it is Memorial Day, we want you to enjoy your Memorial Day. We're going to push the drop of Ask Nick and Freestyle a day. So Ask Nick is going to drop on Tuesday, not Monday. Freestyle is going to drop on Wednesday, not Tuesday. And then Going Deeper on Thursday is going to remain the same. So don't panic if you don't see Ask Nick drop next week, Monday on Memorial Day. We're just pushing everything a day. So hope that all makes sense. Thanks for listening. Let's get to our call.
Question time with Nick. Let's ask Nick your sexy questions.
How's it going?
It's good. My name is Rhonda. I am 25 years old. And I'm addicted to my situationship of 4 years.
Ugh. All right. Well, nice to meet you, Rhonda. Let's try to help you out with this. Let's hear a little bit about the situationship. It's 4 years. Why? Sum up for me why you think. How long have you identified it as a situationship?
The whole time. We've never actually dated because we lived in different cities up until March. We live in the same one now for the first time in the whole 4 years.
I would love to hear from you. What are the top 3 excuses that you both told yourselves? Whether he came up with the excuse, but eventually you started believing the excuse, and then you started telling your friends the same excuse. But I'd love to know what those 3 to 4 top 3 excuses were for why you guys couldn't actually be in a relationship.
Yeah. Number 1 definitely would be long distance. We didn't want to be in a long distance relationship.
Sure.
Number two, his job, I'm trying to keep it vague, but his job will send him away for long periods of time, and you can't talk during that time.
Can you give us a little more detail? I mean, we can edit it out, but is anyone going to find
military.
out? Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a lot of people in the military. I don't know if anyone's going to figure out who he is. Okay, so he's in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What else? What other reasons? Because I'm sure there were more than two.
Yeah. I'm older than him, so that was kind of one that I made up.
How much older?
I was like, I didn't want to date 3 years, 2 years, 2.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah. When we met, I was 21 and he was like 19.
Okay.
So that was a big reason in the beginning.
And at what point did you, because I'm assuming you're the hopeful person in this equation,
Mm-hmm.
At what point did you decide that you wanted to be in a relationship? And have you ever had these types of conversations with him about like shifting from a situationship to a relationship?
Yeah. I think I kind of knew pretty early on that I wanted it to eventually turn into something. So I mentioned earlier that it was like a cycle. And what happens every time? Well, we met on Halloween, and it's always around Halloween we'll like reconnect. So from Halloween to like New Year's, it's this passionate fling with like super fun times, and we go on trips and we'll meet each other in our cities and go out, and it's super fun. But then after New Year's is when I start thinking, okay, I want this to go somewhere, and I always bring it up, and he always lashes out and is actually really nasty.
Lashes out?
Like mean.
Like how so?
Yeah, he calls me clingy, crazy. He called me a bitch and a child once. That was the most recent time, actually. That was on my birthday.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So why Rhonda? WTF?
I know. So I need to go into the whole thing. It's so much.
Okay, please get into it.
So for a long time, we didn't talk because of the last time this all happened. He was really rude. Said that he would never date me, blah, blah, blah. Really awful. So I didn't talk to him, and I got into another relationship with someone else that lasted over a year. And I lived with that guy, and he ended up being abusive mentally and physically.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I was trying to get out of that situation, and I ran into the situationship, and I was kind of telling him what's going on, and he was like super helpful the whole time, gave me a place to stay. And it wasn't ever anything physical. It was just like a friendship at that point. When I was able to like safely get out of that situation and move home, that was in September. And from September to about March, I was like looking for jobs. I was staying at home. I was safe and healing and stuff. And the situationship would call me every now and then, check up on me. And we would just talk for a while, like friends. And we got super close during that time. And I said that I found a job in the city that I currently live in now. And that happens to be the city that he also lives in. So the tables kind of turned at that point, because I wasn't the one pushing for a relationship anymore. It was him. And he was the one saying like, oh, I hope you moved to the city because we'll date and we can finally like live in the same city as each other and blah, blah, blah. And that was like his whole big thing that he kept bringing up. I never brought it up. And so I moved in March, and for every day for 2 weeks before that, he was texting me all the time, like, saying good morning and sending me heart messages and stuff. And he helped me move in. He got some of his friends to help me and my roommate move into our new place. And then that night we hooked up, and then I didn't hear from him for like a week until he swiped up on my Snapchat story and like commented something, and then I made a joke about him being a ghost. I was like, "Oh, look, a ghost," or something, and he got really mad and like lashed out um again and called me. He said, "I'm not your fucking boyfriend. I'm fucking busy. That's an unrealistic expectation to have, me talking to you all the time," even though that's what he was doing prior. And he was telling me all those things. And so I blocked him on everything. And then about a month later, I ran into him on my birthday, and I was trying, to avoid him and ignore him. But he like cornered me at the bar and started talking about everything. But I don't really remember the conversation because it was pretty late in the night. But I do remember him getting mad at whatever I said. And then I texted him the next day. I unblocked him to ask him what happened. And he said, "I'm going to be completely honest with you. You acted like a little kid and a bitch. I don't want to talk to you at all." So then I blocked him again after that. And that's the end of it.
How long ago was
so
that?
Far. A month ago.
You just said so far.
Yeah, because it's a cycle, and I don't know how to break it.
Why do you feel like you don't know how to break it? I mean, like we're all sitting here listening to your story, kind of like jaws dropped, kind of like we're wondering what you're so confused about. You're so clearly, articulating his behavior. Why?
Really not a question of whether or not he's a good guy or whether or not he's worth all of this trouble, because I know he's not.
Okay.
I can't get out of it.
Why do you keep saying you can't get out of it? I mean, like,
because I do everything right. I'm the one that tries to communicate, and
what do you mean by you do everything right?
I block him.
But then you unblock him.
I cut him out, but I do unblock him.
Do you genuinely feel like after this last incident, you could ever talk to him again? Like after he called you those names, like on your birthday, did all that stuff, like at this point, and be honest with us and yourself, like, do you really feel like you could ever talk to him again after he called you those things on your birthday?
I know.
Like, don't you just feel like this is kind of the final straw?
Yeah, I want it to be.
No, but that's the thing. She doesn't.
I don't think you do, because you're like laughing. You're like, yeah. And it's like, look, we've all been there in like a state of, I'm sorry, I'm going to call it delusion. Like we've all been there, but you have to make the choice. Like it ends when you make the choice for it to end. And that can be now, or that can be in 6 more cycles. But I would just say, like, think about yourself in the future and think about how you want to be telling the story. And do you want to say like, yeah, and after he said that, like, I was really done because I know I deserve more? Or do you want to be like, yeah, and then we did it for 3 more years and we still didn't date, and I shut myself off from other possibilities and got called more names and, did the cycle 3 more times or whatever?
Yeah, I want it to end, and I am like trying to go out with other people.
Do you really want it to end though? Because you said so far, like you're just like, so that's the story so far, which means like in your mind that you are fully mentally prepared to re-engage with him in the future somehow. You don't know how, right? But like you said, like you've accepted the cycle, you've accepted this pattern. You're like, oh, this is just part of our thing. Why are you so accepting of this behavior? It's like it's like you said, it's wrong. Like you can articulate to us and you can recognize that, in a bubble that behavior is wrong, but you have clearly accepted it as part of this relationship or situationship that you have with him. Why do you think you're addicted to it? Why do you think what are you hoping to get from him? Because there must be something. There is something that subconsciously, or your ego, whatever it is, there is something that you're holding on to this thing with him because you must want to get something out of it. Maybe it's his validation or his what do you think it is that you are holding on to?
I don't know. I think like I do still have some hope, which I know it is delusional and it is crazy.
Hope for what though?
For him to change?
For him to change.
And Why? What are like, I haven't heard, like, what are the things you like about him?
It's when we're together and like hanging out, and how he was such a good friend for the whole time that I needed a friend. Yeah, it's just a messy friendship. I don't think you can be friends with people that you sleep with, and
Yeah.
it just really complicates everything.
Also, I just want someone who's so willing to make you feel bad about yourself.
Yeah.
He's reactive. Anytime you challenge him at all, he immediately gets mean over the smallest things. Now imagine how is he going to handle,
Big things.
If you're in a relationship with someone, it's 100% chance that you're going to do something that you're going to need to apologize for, where you'll be wrong, where they'll have a reason and a justification to be genuinely upset. Like every relationship, we do things to hurt the feelings of the people we love. And he'll have a right to be upset, but how we handle being upset really matters. He is being ultra reactive and ultra mean and ultra, abusive when he doesn't even have a reason to be mad.
And also just the fact that you've already had to experience like such a negative relationship with your ex, and like the fact that your ex was abusive in multiple ways worries me, because it means that it just worries me that that's like becoming a pattern, that you think, oh, well, this guy isn't as bad as my ex. And it's like, well, he's still being abusive and he's still making you feel terribly about yourself. And it's a negative pattern, which is something that abusers feed off of, right? Is a pattern of like catch and release, like, like be mean, be nice, be mean, be nice. And that's not good at all.
Are you in any type of therapy?
Yeah.
You are? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You like it?
I have been for like 2 years.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm assuming you've talked about this with your therapist? Yeah?
Yes.
What do they have to say?
Very similar things that y'all have said, actually.
But I'm just trying to, I'm having a hard time to figure out why you're coming across as kind of, you're very casual about this story.
Yeah.
You're just kind of like, whatevs. Like, I know it's wrong, but why? Why are you so chill about this?
I don't know. I mean, I've gone through it so many times with him. Like, it's just what happens with him.
But you let it happen. You're allowing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why? Do you realize that, though?
I totally do. I'm the one that unblocks him. I'm the one that lets him worm his way back in.
I mean, maybe it sounds easier than it actually is, but why? Can't you just decide to stop? Can't you just have a conversation with you that says, I know this guy's no good for me. No matter what he does, in between him being shitty, I know how he treats me or people. And I'm sure you've heard me say, the good doesn't make up for the bad, especially when the bad is toxic.
Mm-hmm.
And we do this thing where we try to do a pros and cons list of like, especially when they're really toxic or shitty or in some cases abusive. And we try to convince ourselves, well, they did this, or we had a fun time here. And it's like, when they're toxic, when the relationship is toxic, the fun doesn't make up for it.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is that, like, I can recognize when other people do it to me, and I can easily cut things off with them, whether it's guys or friends or anyone. But I don't know why I can't keep him out.
Just the way you talk, I just feel like I think you just convinced yourself of this. You've created this narrative, and even in this conversation, you just keep saying things like, well, I just can't with him. Why don't you just start telling yourself you can? Why don't you just change the narrative in your head? And it starts with you, and it starts with conversations you have with yourself, saying like, I can get over this. I'm strong enough. I know he's bad for me. I'm not going to unblock him. I'm going to promise myself, I'm going to make this commitment to myself. And you just keep having this conversation over and over with yourself. I'm going to get over this phobia. I'm going to get over this thing. You can channel that energy and work on it. Right now, you've just decided, I can't do it. I can get therapy. I can talk to my friends. I can talk to the people on a podcast, but at the end of the day, I just can't. And I think what it is that you've just accepted it. And you don't mind talking about it, You know, you don't mind sharing it, you know, with your therapist or with your friends, with us. But I think straight deep down, you've just always accepted it as a situation that's kind of keeping you invested and in a weird kind of, you know, you've heard me talk about toxic stimulation. It just kind of keeps you engaged. And you haven't really reached a point where you're mad enough about this situation or even mad at yourself for allowing him back in over and over, because you're just kind of like, yeah, I don't know why I can't get over it.
And like, if it was anyone else, if it was any of my friends that was doing this, I would be so mad. Or my sister.
So
I would be so mad at them for doing it.
So be mad at yourself. Why are you so willing to allow this to happen? Because you sound empowered. You're self-aware. You know it's wrong. You don't need us to, you know, we're not here saying you understand that's wrong, right? Like, you know it's wrong.
Yeah.
You have the power here, you know? You keep shaking your head no. Oh, where's the you're right. This is fucked up. I need to stop doing this energy.
Yeah, you're right. I do have the power.
I don't know. Like, for me, when I've been in similar situations, like, I think sometimes I'll just stop trying and just be like, I'm going to just be self-aware that this is fucked up and I'm still doing it, but like, I'm self-aware about it. So that way it's like only partially bad. And it's usually because it's like, I've tried a few times to get out of it, failed. And then I'm just like, well, I don't want to feel like an idiot and try and fail again. So I'm just going to be like, it's a failure. We can live with it. And it's usually for me, it's like a vulnerability thing to like get out of that. Is like having to be like, I'm going to be vulnerable with myself, because like it's usually like me trusting myself kind of thing. And so like it's scary to be like, what if I try again and I like relapse and I go back or I do that? Like it's a scary thing to do. So I think part of it is kind of acknowledging like what a big feat it will be to like re-engage and actually try to get out. But I don't know, something my therapist said that really resonated was like, your brain hears you. Like when you talk and you say, I'm not going to get out, like your brain hears that, and it sounds cheesy and it sounds like kind of stupid and like, oh, whatever. But like truly me just like changing my language of like making it a decision-based thing, like about choices and not like myself as a person, and also making it like I have not yet like found whatever, was kind of sometimes like the first step in starting to like get myself ready to like be vulnerable again and like give it another shot.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree with that.
I really like
your
that.
brain does. Yeah. When we tell ourselves, we enforce ideas, our brain thinks that's the feeling that we're trying to replicate. And then therefore we kind of subconsciously do. Like our subconscious brain has a huge impact on our decisions that we're not thinking about. But our subconscious brain, like, you know, we create these narratives. When you say things like, I'm addicted to him or I can't get over, is there a part of you that kind of like finds that hot and sexy and romantic? The idea that you're addicted to someone so much that like you can't get over him. You like it.
I think we also romanticize patterns.
You're not the only one. I think it's common. But.
Yeah. I think we romanticize patterns. Like we think like, oh my God, like we're in this thing. Like it happened 4 times in 4 years. And it's like, that's us justifying it to ourselves and finding like a romantic hook. But it's like, you deserve real romance. You don't deserve like toxic addiction. You deserve like genuine romance that's reciprocated in a consistent way. And so it's like, start focusing on what you want to call into your life. Like I totally agree. I think thoughts become things, and like focus on what you want to call into your life instead of like what has happened. Because I also think due to the length of this situationship, like you're also addicted to being like, well, it's been 4 years, it's been 4 years, it's been 4 years. And it's like the sunk cost syndrome is like, well, I've already sunk 4 years into this. Like maybe I can just do it one more time and we can like smooth it over. And it's like, you have to let the past go. And also like to the point of changing the narrative, stop being like, well, we've been in this thing for 4 years. So what comes next? And start being like, and when he called me a bitch on my birthday, that was the last straw. Like flip it and be like, and that was the end of that. Like, and start saying that. Even when you're talking about it to your friends, be like, yeah, well, that's over because of what happened and I'm done with that now. Instead of being like, well, I'm in this thing. Like it goes to past tense. And then your brain is like, yeah, he's in the past.
Yeah. I think that's totally what I do. I absolutely romanticize this whole thing. And yeah, when he called me a bitch on my birthday, that was the end.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what do I do if I see him downtown?
Turn around, leave, ignore him, run, literally.
Text your best friend and be like, don't you fucking dare let me, like, I'm sharing my location with you. If it's at his house, like, call 911, you know, not really, but like truly like get other people to help like bring, because it's really hard. And I'm sure you're exhausted from like trying to hold yourself accountable and failing. And like, that's made you feel weird about yourself and it breaks trust and all this stuff. So like bring in backup, like have a friend help you out.
And I promise you, once you do it once, like I think a little bit of healthy ego here is good. I promise you, once you do it once, the power that you will feel like, whoa, I can do this. Whoa, I deserve more than this. And everything will start to come into focus. You just got to do it once. You got to literally turn around, walk out of the bar, go home. It's fine. Just do it once and you'll be stronger.
Romanticize standing up for yourself.
Yeah.
Instead of romanticize getting back together over and over with this guy. Stop watching The Notebook or Sex and the City. Big and Carrie should never have been together.
Amen.
He ended up being creepy anyways. You know what I'm saying? How many times have you seen The Notebook in the past 4 years and thought about him?
That's like all I watch are rom-coms.
Fucking stop.
I watch
Stop. I'm serious.
Okay.
I'm serious. You got to stop. Because that's what rom-coms do. Seriously. Rom-coms teach you that love is enough. And it doesn't matter how shitty or how toxic or how bad two people treat one another, that eventually if they make it work, then it's all worth it. And that's what like a lot of these rom-coms, you know, because there's a story to tell, but like that's not reality. And you are sucked into this kind of rom-com-y narrative with this guy. And the reason why you're so willing to put up with all this shitty behavior is because there's a part of you that says, it won't matter if eventually he comes around and we can be together and happy. Then he'll be sorry and I'll be sorry and that's just not fucking reality. It's literally a fantasy. And you got to stop watching this shit and romanticize what Amanda and Tinks are saying. It's like romanticize how good you're going to feel about yourself when you stand up for yourself, because future you will be embarrassed about this behavior about how you're treating yourself and what you're willing to put up with. You know, 5-10 years from now, you're going to look back and go, ugh. But future you is also going to love the moment when you decide that enough is enough and you are willing to stand up for yourself and treat yourself with kindness and not let people like him, you know, treat you with such disrespect. And the fact that you romanticize that type of behavior. And like it's like right now, every time he treats you shitty, your subconscious is thinking, well, that's just going to make the payoff even better. Because when he comes around like Big or Noah does in the fucking Notebook, he will have to say, I'll be able to say, I told you so. And he'll have to apologize even more. And that'll be an even bigger moment at the end of our movie.
Yeah, no, you nailed that.
All right. Well, do you think he can do it?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's been long enough and I've stewed on this for so long and I want it to be over. I really do.
Well, good.
And I think I can do it.
You got to stop saying I think I can do it.
I
can do it. There you go. But there, those words, I think I can, or I'm stuck, or he doesn't have power of you. He has he's not a magician. He's not some sort of wizard or Casanova. He's some basic shitty guy. And you're allowing at this point some basic shitty guy to treat you a way that you know you don't deserve. And you are letting rom-coms and romanticization allow you to have this shitty guy treat you far less better than you deserve, if that made any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So when you talk to yourself, I deserve better. I don't deserve him. I'm not going to talk to him. I'm done. These are the conversations you need to start having with yourself over and over and over and over and over. And when you watch The Notebook, you got to see Noah and Allie as two just shitty, toxic people.
All right. I'll look at it through that lens.
Allie literally cheated on her fiance to be with Noah.
Yeah.
Yuck. All right. Well, we want an update. We're going to check in on you. We're going to make sure you're holding yourself accountable.
Okay. I am.
Don't block him. Delete his number.
Okay.
Don't screenshot it before. Any way you think he has access to, go out of your way to change it. So if it's an email, whatever, Snapchat, block him on Snapchat, block him on Instagram, on all social media, delete his number. Block his number, then delete his number. because I think it will still be blocked even after you delete it from your phone book.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, the contact will be gone, but
the contact will be gone, but he won't have an ability to. So block them, then delete the contact. And if you run into him, literally just turn around and run away. Okay?
All right.
All right, we believe in you.
I'm going to do it.
All right.
You got this.
Thank you.
All right, good luck.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Father's Day is around the corner, and one thing is for sure, dads have enough ties, tools, and baggy tees. That's right. This year, give your dad, father figure, mentor, or loved one in your life the gift of looking good and feeling good with True Classic. They do make incredible t-shirts. Amanda's boyfriend looks hot in them.
He looks so hot. I literally, this is not me saying something, embellishing. I sent him a text yesterday that was like, I keep thinking about you in that white t-shirt.
Well, whether you're running your next marathon or running errands and a run around the block is more your speed, their line of active shirts, shorts, and joggers are moisture wicking and quick dry to keep you comfortable so you keep moving. Also, they just look great. You know, they're made for very high material, very fashionable, and yes, they dry very, very wonderfully. But they maintain. That's the best part about them is they keep their form, which is not something that other products in this category do. True Classic is hooking up our listeners with an exclusive deal to help you get ahead on gifting for a limited time only. Get 25% off with code VIALL at trueclassic.com. That 25%, that's a huge discount. Gifting can be hard. True Classic makes it easy and more affordable. They are so committed to their shirts fitting right that they even have a 100% risk-free guarantee and easy return. So you can feel as good gifting as they will feel wearing it. Premium quality without premium price tags. That's the True Classic difference. Again, that's code VIALL at trueclassic.com. 25% off, code VIALL plus free shipping included on purchases over $100 at trueclassic.com. How's it going?
Good. Hi, I'm Marissa. I'm 24 and I'm thinking about going to Tulum with my ex-boyfriend of 4 years after a month of not talking.
Okay. Why? Pitch us.
So,
I always like in these situations, you pitch us is why you think it's a good idea.
You're like, I really need a tan, first of all.
Yes, exactly. I really want to go to Tulum. At the end of the day, I have paid for the trip. The hotel is refundable, but the flight's not. And we've dated for 4 years. He was my best friend. We've been through a lot together. We love traveling together. And the breakup was pretty amicable. I'm the one that broke up with him. But I am nervous about the repercussions and to kind of give you the other side. All of my friends that know and love me say I should not go.
I mean, obviously, right? Everyone listening, it's just like, no. But but all jokes aside, like I think this is very common, very relatable, very typical when it comes to, especially a breakup of like a long like 4 years. Obviously, it's a long period of time. You're very connected with him. Think about you right now. You're in a position of power. Right? Because you ended the relationship as amicable as you think it is, right? And power can change like that very quickly. He right now is open to this, trip is because even if he thinks it's for the best or he agrees with some of the reasons as why it ended, if nothing else, you have more power than him. So if nothing else, his subconscious is going to be wanting to flip the script, and leave that trip in a position of power rather than in a position of feeling like powerless. So those are the stakes.
Yes, exactly. And that's my issue is that I broke up with him because we had been doing long distance. His personal life is kind of like a crap show right now, and he wasn't able to meet my emotional needs. And I feel like I'm so young and there are other people out there. That does not mean that I don't love him, that like possibly in the future, once he figures things out, like we could possibly reconnect. But I am really worried about flipping the power because right now I feel comfortable with starting Hot Girl Summer and doing what I need to do. But I'm scared I go and then I'm left wanting what he cannot give me.
Yeah. How old is he?
24.
He might not be the person you want him to be for like 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who knows? Could be a surprise, but it sounds like maybe you just thought he was overall maybe just emotionally immature.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Don't you have a friend? I mean, if you want to go to Tulum, there's plenty of ways you can go to Tulum.
Yeah.
Hotel's paid for.
Grab a girlfriend.
Yes.
Go and start hot girl summer in the right way in Tulum. Tulum is a fun place to go with a girlfriend, honestly.
I've never been. I've always wanted to go. I've been to Mexico so many times.
Nick is like, let's all go.
We'll go with you.
I wish. I really tried to get friends. That was like my first thing. And, you know, I'll be candid with you guys. Like, I think it'd be nice to go with him. Like, I have a good like friendship with him. The sex is good. Like, everything's good. Like, in a nice, beautiful place, good food, good music. But again, just like, does that outweigh like the possible negative impact?
Are
of
you
me,
going to
like,
get
coming
invested
back and,
again,
like,
though? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's
That's-
very possible.
yeah.
I mean, I went on a trip with an ex and we pretended like we were together and it was really fun.
Yeah.
But I was able to be like, boink and bye, and like dropped him
Yeah.
at the airport and really didn't care. And it was a great trip. But if you're going to have negative ramifications once you get home, then yeah, is it worth it? You know yourself the best.
Like, that's the thing. If you have a great time, that means almost certainly you're going to leave that trip with all the reasons why you made a mistake in breaking up with them. You know, you're going to go down there, have some great sex, and it'll be romantic, and it'll be nice, and then you'll have like a bunch of old couples in Tulum calling how handsome of a couple you two are, and shit like that, right? Or the opposite happens, where tensions are high, you have a little drunk, then you fight the whole time, because at the end of the day, you know, shit gets brought up because, you know, you guys are both pretending it's an amicable breakup, which isn't the case, you know? And so, yeah, it's just, go by yourself.
Mexico as a single girl by myself.
You have no friends that can go with you.
No friends. And I will say this, that like, he finally admitted to me that like, yeah, I can't be who you want me to be. And I realized like the past year, basically, like, things have just been bad and toxic because I don't want to admit to you that like, I'm not going to be able to show up as the boyfriend you want, even if he wants to. And once I heard that, it kind of just clicked to me that like, yeah, fuck this, you know, like 4 years of my life, I'm young. I'm not going to continue to waste it for someone that's just blatantly admitting that he's not going to be who I want him to be. And that's why I feel like I will be okay going and just like getting like a fun trip out of it. But I'm just,
but that's the thing though, right? Yeah. So your logic to yourself is, I've already spent the money.
Mm-hmm.
So why not just go on this fun trip? But like you said, you've already spent the money. Either way, money is spent. There's nothing you can do about it. You cannot spend that money on something else now. So be it. And yes, beaches, sun, Tulum, there's, you know, you would be able to do that. But as you don't even need us to convince you that there are a lot of potential risks and costs associated with this. So you need to think about it like this. I've already spent the money. Do I want this trip to get even more expensive for me? And by expensive, I mean like emotionally. You know, do I want to like just get this emotional baggage I'm going to have to like talk through with friends and make me sad and make me confused and maybe talk to my therapist and whatever it is? Like, this trip could get more expensive for you.
That's a good point. That's what my friends are saying.
It'll set you back, like however you cut it, like it'll just set you back. And I always feel like with breakups, you've got to focus on moving forward in the future. Like, even if you're justifying it to yourself as like, oh, it's just a cheeky little trip, like a getaway, like, you know, in your heart, it's going to set you back. And to me, I mean, like, if a guy like acknowledged my feelings and validated me, and by that I mean him saying, yeah, I can't show up as your boyfriend, yeah, I validate you, that would make me more sympathetic towards him. Like, that would confuse me more, because I'd be like, oh, you're saying I'm right, wait, oh my God, you're being
self-aware.
Exactly. And that would like complicate it. That would make me have like a lot of sympathy towards him. So I feel like that's another area that you have to be careful in, because sometimes it's like when people stop and they're like, you're right about me, you're like, whoa, oh my God, you've changed. But he hasn't. He's just like telling you he's agreeing what's wrong with him.
Is this your first serious relationship?
Yeah. I'm young, 24.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So maybe you haven't experienced this, but there's this thing that happens in your first kind of relationship or love is this whole like we break up and get back together thing becomes a very vicious cycle. And so again, talking about cost, like once you kind of set this precedent that we can break up and get back together so easily, you're running the risk of having this guy be in your life for the next 2 to 3 years and being in your kind of subconscious brain, this constant available backup plan. And you to him, you know, so now because dating is scary. There's bouts of loneliness and frustration. You're going to go on, when you get back out there, just a heads up, you're going to go on a bunch of dates, most of which are going to suck and you're going to hate them. And you're like, you know, but none of that has anything to do with how you should see or value your relationship. They're two separate things. And we make this mistake of comparing the shitty dating world to like, well, I guess like a relationship with it isn't so bad. Like you have been with him for 4 years. You have come to this conclusion that he's not meeting your emotional needs. He's not the man that you want to be. You know you deserve better. You are still young and you're going to get back out there. But you going on this trip is going to kind of set this precedent with the both of you that when things get rough or bored or lonely, you'll always be there to kind of fill that need and you'll never fully let go of each other. And like, you know, my first girlfriend off and on for 7 years. I mean, there's so many people with their first loves have a story of like being in and out of each other's lives for years, not months. And it can cost a lot. So you going on this trip and getting used to being broken up with him, but still acting like boyfriend and girlfriend and having sex and taking trips together, it'll numb you to that. We get you used to that. It'll make it okay in your minds. And again, you're going to run the risk of this guy being in your life for a long time, always knowing that he's not your guy.
Yeah. I needed to hear that, honestly.
Should we just cancel the trip while you're on the phone with us?
Okay, the hotel's refundable. I know the flights aren't, but couldn't they just issue you like a flight credit?
Travel
There's
credit?
got to be ways around this.
Yeah. Have you even tried?
I haven't, but I did like the cheap JetBlue like shit, you know, that they don't refund. So,
but hotel
credit.
The hotel is refundable.
Hotel is refundable. That's the big part. And think about how much money you're going to spend. Look, I've been to Tulum. I'll tell you something. I got really, really bad food poisoning in Tulum, like the worst of my life. And I went with a boyfriend and we broke up after. So it's, you know, yeah. It's expensive.
You get COVID, you get the flu. Like who knows?
You know, it's very expensive. You know, you could just cancel it and, you know.
Yeah, you could.
Try for credit. Try for
That's a thing. That's
credit.
another way of looking at it. Instead of being like, oh, it's booked, it's already paid for, you can actually make money on getting the money back from the hotel. Like, because you haven't even paid for the hotel yet. You just reserved the hotel. Right? So it'll actually cost you more. And from this point forward, you going on this trip will be more expensive than it is today. So instead of thinking about you're losing money on the flights that you paid for, that money's already spent. It's gone. Like either way, it's gone. But now you can get a nice little payday by not spending money on the hotel room and go buy yourself something nice. The money that you would otherwise spend on the hotel, go buy yourself a purse or a trip somewhere else or I don't know, whatever it is that makes you happy. A massage, a spa, I don't know.
Yeah. The money thing is right. I think probably subconsciously though, like I did just like want that connection for the weekend, you know, and a beautiful place. And
I hear you.
So that's like the hard part, but just everything you said is so right that like, I'll just like be prolonging and like adding to things like emotionally, which will just hurt me in the long run. And I don't know why. Yeah. It's not like worth 3 days in Tulum or 4 days in Tulum, you know?
Save the money. And like one trick I always do is like if you're, you know, because I always think that with breakups and with guys and you're like, but I want to go on this trip with them or I had this planned is like, think about the next person that you're going to take. Like save the money and be like, would I rather go on like an iffy trip with a guy I know is not right for me? Or would I rather wait 8 months and go to Tulum with my hot new boyfriend as like a sexy like honeymoon phase trip? Like think about it that way. And if you think that that's like pie in the sky ridiculous, it's not. Like you'll find another person who you like. And wouldn't you then rather have that money in the bank to go to Tulum with them?
Also, the JetBlue website is currently down in some capacities, which is ironic. But from what I'm seeing from just a little preview on Google, it seems like you can cancel for a $100 fee since it's a flight within North America. So it's like, it's not ideal, but you know, it's like sometimes you get a parking
all this
ticket.
costed you was $100. That's a win.
I've also seen that you can maybe get the additional fees / taxes back. So bonus.
Yeah. Or sometimes I really feel like you can usually sneak out a travel credit, especially when you're very polite to customer service people and you're like, listen, I can't go to Tulum with my ex.
Yeah,
like sometimes
literally
explain. Girl, I just broke up with this guy. He sucked. And like, seriously, that shit works.
Yeah.
Every customer service people gets treated like shit all the time. And when you call them up and you say, you call them up and be like, I need your help. That's the first words out of your mouth. I need your help. Here's why. And you tell them about the relationship that ended. And if they don't, honestly, if they're like, sorry, we can't help you, just get off the phone, call back.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
I need help.
It'll take you less than 5 times to find someone who's willing to help you out.
So true.
Great action plan. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Are you going to go on this trip?
No.
You promise?
I promise.
All right.
If we see Tulum photos on your Instagram, we are going to be questioning you.
Allie's going to be stalking on
I
the
will.
Finsta.
I'll find out. I will find it.
Fair.
Let us know once you've talked to the customer service people how it goes, and confirm with us once it is all finalized and canceled.
We want an update.
Okay. I will, guys. Thank you this is a decision I had to make like literally today. So the fact that I got on this so fast, thank you guys. Like, I really appreciate it.
All right. Well, we appreciate you calling in. We wish you all the best. Congratulations on choosing yourself and ending a relationship that you knew wasn't right. Very difficult to do. Get back out there when you're ready. There's going to be a lot of lows. That doesn't mean he's special. That doesn't mean you made a mistake. Have some fun with it. There'll be some highs in between. Like you said multiple times in this call, you're super young. Don't forget that. And try to have some fun.
Yeah.
You know, it's a wild world out there.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
How's it going?
Good. I'm Sarah. I'm 28. And I was ghosted after the best first date the same week my dog died.
Okay. I'm sorry about your dog.
Thank you.
Why, your dog passing is terrible, and I'm so sorry. Why is that part of this story as it relates to him ghosting? Did he know about your dog, or is that just like, it was just a really bad week?
Yeah, so he actually did know. We to give you a backstory, we went on a date on a Saturday, and then shortly after my dog passed away that Tuesday. So he has 2 dogs himself, and I let him know what was going on. I was kind of scared too at first because I didn't want to scare him away. But knowing he had 2 dogs, I felt like it was the best decision and he would understand. And he was super understanding and gave me a lot of support during it. Kind of just was very empathetic and said if he could help me in any way, he would. And then we did make plans for the following weekend. So he was showing a lot of interest. He was saying he couldn't wait to see me. He wanted to give me a big hug, all these things, and wanted to see me that next weekend, but I didn't hear from him at all.
Have you reached out to him?
I did reach out to him that weekend, just asking, hey, do you still want to meet up? Just trying to get my weekend plans together, and still nothing. It was just complete ghost.
Tough.
What, tell me about the first date. Why was it the best date you have ever had?
It felt like we had so many similarities. There was never really any awkward silences that are kind of expected for first dates. They're always kind of uncomfortable. But this one, I just felt like at ease. We talked the whole time, didn't have differing opinions. It just felt really good. And he felt the same way. He kind of told me after the date that he was excited to see me again, and he was thankful for this dating app. Just all these things that gave me hope that he felt the same way.
Sure. What did you learn about him on that date that made you really like him?
Not a whole lot, I guess. We didn't get into a lot of history. He he does have divorced parents like me. So that was something in common we had and kind of related to each other about that. We both were from the same state as well, moved to this state that there's a lot of people, transplants. So kind of related on that. We talked about work. That was pretty similar. Loving dogs. We both liked hiking, just a lot of things that we both enjoyed. And it seemed like we were on the same page with dating and a lot of things, but we didn't really get into like relationship history. So that could be some red flag there.
Well, not necessarily, but I guess my point is, it's just like, I've had this amazing first date or amazing first couple dates, and then either they ghosted or it just kind of, goes cold really fast. And I think we often mistake what it means to have a great first date. I think first dates are, like you said, they can be awkward and uncomfortable, and there's strange environments, and there's just a lot of ways in which first dates, essentially meeting a stranger in public in hopes that you guys carry some sort of conversation through an entire meal or some drinks, like it's just inherently a challenge. And we get anxious going into the dates, we get anxious leaving the dates, and so I think we mistakenly evaluate first dates inappropriately, so to speak, right? Because what you just basically described what you claim to be as a great first date, which was it was generally easy, and I just met a guy who was good at having a conversation, and I felt less awkward, and I didn't feel as anxious, and we were able to carry a conversation, but I didn't really learn anything substantive about him that would tell me why I should be excited about him or the possibility of being in a relationship with him. Because like hiking and having divorced parents and liking dogs is nice. I'm not trying to like completely discredit that, but it's not exactly moving the needle on, and so, yeah.
Like, did you have fun on the date? Like, did he make you laugh? Like, how did he make you feel? Because I sometimes feel like as Nick said, we're so focused on like, did he like me? Did he like me? Did he like me? And you never stop and ask yourself, wait, did I even like him? Like, did he make you feel sparkly? Did he like ask you a lot of questions? Was he like attentive? Like, did you feel like seen, or was it just like kind of a good job interview with some cocktails?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely did laugh. Like there was a lot of laughs, and I would say he probably didn't ask me as many questions as I asked him, which I thought was kind of weird. Yeah. And I typically don't get my hopes up with first dates because, like you said, we shouldn't put too much emphasis on meeting a stranger and thinking they're it. And I try not to do that. But I guess, I don't know how to describe it. It was just because he was so interested and kind of acknowledged my feelings. And I feel like he did see me and understand me. I thought there might be something there. And just the continued interest from him with wanting to get together again made me feel like, okay, maybe there is hope. And usually with ghosting situations, I feel like you can kind of tell when you're about to get ghosted. Either the date doesn't go well or, the texts are not there.
Sure.
And they just don't seem interested really over text. But he wasn't giving me any of those signs. So it just came out.
I just think we have to remember that some people are just really good first daters. Some people are just like naturally charming in person. Some people are good at making, uncomfortable situations more comfortable. And he could definitely be it, unless you're both embracing at the end of the night with a hot little makeout being like, and even then it's a first date. So who knows? But like when it like, I had a first date that like, we just basically like walked all night long and checked out the stars, and and we really got into it, and we really got deep and reconnected in ways. Even then, again, it's a risk to like get too hopeful. But the way you describe this date is you basically had a pretty nice time with a stranger, and he kind of gave you the checklist of the things you want to look for. Like, he made plans for a second date. He seemed enthusiastic. That's all nice. Mm-hmm. But you got your hopes up just because you had a pretty nice date. And I understand that dating is difficult, and we're often going on shitty dates or mediocre dates. And so the bar just kind of gets lower and lower. So I think when it comes to having a good first couple dates or a first date, I think it is important that we just remind, like, we want to be thankful for that. It's like, oh, finally a nice date. Great. But I don't think it does us any good to immediately start like getting excited and hopeful, because again, they haven't really, what are you exactly getting hopeful for?
Yeah, they haven't proved anything.
Yeah.
It was just with the dog as well. I was like,
yeah,
who would do that?
Well, exactly. There you go. You
Yeah.
know? And I think sometimes rather than when we say things like who would do that when we feel wronged by someone, again, it's just an ego thing, but for whatever reason, we start making it about our worth rather than theirs. Because you're right, who would do that? And instead of being like, who would do that? He is not worthy of me. He is someone who overpromises and underdelivers. No, our egos immediately go, who would do that? Well, I guess I must be shitty and dumb, and and we start judging ourselves, and we start like devaluing ourselves, and I don't know. Normal people wouldn't do that, but he did it to me, so I must suck or something. That's like the narratives we tell ourselves.
That's what I tend to say to myself in my head.
Well, try not to.
It's a really bad trait.
Yeah, listen, we've all done that. We all do that. It's very easy to feel bad for ourselves. It's a really easy thing to do. But we have to start seeing other people's behavior as a reflection of themselves and not a reflection of us.
Yeah. And asking myself, did I even like him? Or was I just excited about the date?
Yeah. Again, sucks that your dog passed, and I am so sorry. Truly, it must be a terrible thing. But
yeah,
don't let that be a reason to make yourselves feel worse about a situation. We sometimes like love to hurt so good. You know, it's feeling sorry for ourselves is like a thing we all kind of do sometimes.
Yeah, it just felt like the worst week I could possibly have. Bad things kept happening, and
yeah, I'm sorry.
I didn't know how to handle it, but yeah, I'm getting through it.
So what are you going to do if you hear from him again? Because it's
that
entirely
was my
possible
question.
that you get this random text in a week or two, and it's just like, oh, I'm sorry, I just got caught up, I was busy, blah, blah, whatever. Because he probably did have a nice time with you. This like relatively charming, most likely fuckboy who's really good at first dates and has a series of you met on a dating app?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. And so this guy's matched with 6 other women and 2 other conversations. And what really happened almost certainly when people meet on dating apps is that in between the time that you had the first date and the plans for your second date, he went on another date.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And had a pretty good time too. And that kind of took priority. But like most likely that will run its course. He will get bored. He'll reach out and make up some sort of excuse as to why that happened. He'll apologize. And your ego is going to say, oh, well, he apologized. Thank God. You know, I can forgive him now. What are you going to do?
In the past, I probably would have accepted an apology and met up with them again. But now, being 28, going through this multiple times, I feel like I should just not respond. Or I feel like I just want to tell him off. I have like, I don't know, I like to call people out when they screw me over. I don't even know what I would say.
I love you standing up for yourself. Just don't let that be a trick to yourself to, you know, what you're really doing is standing up for yourself so you can still go out with them. Because you tell yourself, oh, well, I told him off. Now we can get that cup of coffee.
Yeah. Or if he comes back with like just being super apologetic and understanding exactly where I'm coming from and kind of like wins me back over, that could be a possible scenario if I did tell him off. So yeah, I feel like the best scenario is to just give him a taste of his own medicine and not respond.
Yeah.
Standing up for yourself could just be not giving people access to you.
Yeah.
Who don't deserve it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Even by responding or telling him off, you are giving him a shot. You're giving him
opening
access.
that channel again. Yeah. It's so powerful. There's so much power in not responding. And it's like he lost his chance.
Yeah.
You could just respond, nope, and then block him.
That would be good.
Or no. Just say no. No, thank you. And then block them.
And block him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
I think that's a little more than just not responding maybe, but then giving him a message also. That's stronger than just ignoring.
Yeah, he's an adult guy. He doesn't need you telling him off. He is aware of what, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he knows what he did. Yeah. Like he doesn't need you to like spank him and be like, that was bad manners. Like he knows, and that's why he'll come groveling. But like the people like that, especially fuckboys, the late 20s vibe, like they almost feed off of being told off because it's like a game. It's like, can they weasel their way back in? It's like a challenge. So, but it's like, who has time for that? You're not his mommy and you're not his therapist. So don't respond is my vote. And then just feel good about yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Late 20s, I would have thought men would.
Oh, no.
Playing these games.
No. You got a ways to go.
Yeah, I'm at the point of giving up on dating.
No, don't. And the more boundaries you enforce, the easier dating will become. Like the more you start to have a set of rules, or not even rules, but just like boundaries for yourself, where it's like, okay, if I'm treated like that, automatically it's a no from me. Then it just gets easier because you don't get caught in the fray of like, oh my God, but he texted me 3 weeks later and like, what should I do? It's like, you should view this as a good thing because it's like, wow, you're getting stronger. And you even said in the past you would have accepted a groveling second date or whatever. And that's really cool. And that means that dating, you're getting better at dating, you're getting better at knowing yourself, and you're getting better at enforcing boundaries. And that makes it easier. Like then you can be done with this guy quicker and on to the next. Like open up the dating app again, go on another date. Like forget it. Like this guy is not
even think about it. Yeah.
Also something to try.
I struggle with boundaries, so.
Yeah, well, they're difficult.
It's good to acknowledge. Something to try on first or second dates. You can either think it to yourself. I don't even have a problem with you saying it to your dates. But if you have another in the future, a good first date, first couple dates or whatever, and there it is like, oh, I've had a really good time, and the whatever he said, I want you to think, I want you to say the phrase to yourself or even out loud, we'll see.
Yes.
We'll see.
We'll see mentality.
We'll see. And he's like, what do you mean we'll see? It's just like, well, I don't know. We just met you. You make a great first impression. And you want to toe that line between like cynicism and like just being realistic, because to Tink's point, guys love a challenge. They love to chase. They love the, and so if nothing else, when you give that kind of we'll see energy, or even you say it, that lets them know that they haven't done enough to like make you think that you're worthy of they're worthy of your time. But right now you're kind of giving the like, oh, I had a really nice time. Me too. Oh my God, we had such a good time. Let's, and I'm not saying you have to like say no. If he wants to plan another date, you can be like, okay, but just some like healthy reluctance, even when you're having a good first date. You don't have to be like, oh, this has sucked. No, you can be like, yeah, no, I had a really nice time. We'll see. How about the second?
Not be too available for them.
Yeah, like be willing to challenge them that they have to bring it again the second date, that they haven't won you over yet, Yeah. I've had plenty of good first or second dates where people ended up just kind of disappointing me,
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see if you can, but think to yourself, we'll see on these, these good or exciting first dates. It's just, you're just keeping it open-ended rather than like, crowning them. 'Cause that's kind of what he did. He's having a good time. He mentioned how good of a time he thought he was having. And then you basically just validated him because he made you think that you had such a good time, as opposed to being like, we'll see, yeah, I'm having a nice time, but I don't really know you yet,
Yeah, that's very true. I think I try to remember that because I've been in narcissistic relationships before where they kind of love bomb you and kind of manipulate your feelings that way. So I thought, I learned a lot from that, but still I tend to be like dazzled by like very small words that aren't actions, I guess.
Yeah. Well, just remember, they're strangers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even someone you've been on 10 dates with is still kind of a stranger, but
That's true.
I think you practicing that will see energy will serve you well. And they'll call you mysterious. Because they don't know what else to say. It's like, oh, you're so mysterious. And it's like, wow. Like, and then when they say that, that's, don't let them make you feel bad about yourself. Some guys will do that. The good fuckboys will be like, why, they'll make you feel bad for not validating them.
Yeah. Like you're not being kind, nice, or like, I don't know how to say it. I feel like some guys want you to like reciprocate.
Exactly.
They want to be validated.
When they see that as their weakness, because it is their weakness.
Yeah.
Feel free to call out some of these guys in a playful way. the ones worth your time won't be offended or reactive or triggered. They will play along with you.
Yeah, I'm struggling to get back on the apps. Dating in my city is terrible, so
yeah, it's a challenge. And apps are like an evil means to an end. They do not say, like, they are a way to meet people for sure, and everyone's using them. So I like reluctantly think that, you know, people should be open to using them, but you need to be really good at setting boundaries for yourself. You need to control how many people you're actively talking to at one time, and you have to be really good at not valuing your self-worth based off of random matches with strangers.
Yeah.
View it as like a tool, like an Uber. I always say put it in the same group as like Uber, Postmates. It's a tool. It's not like Instagram. It's not like TikTok. And that's really difficult for our human brains because we think they gamified it, right? They want us to spend as much time as possible on the apps. They want us to feel validation from the hits. But I always say, like, it's like Uber. It's like Postmates. You go on, you talk, you do a little swiping, you put it away. It's not like an all day, everyday thing.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it too. I like that.
All right. Well, good luck. Keep us posted on any, you know, if you go back out there, if you hear from them, you know, or if you have a date where you implemented some of these tips. We'd love to hear back how they worked out and if they've changed your course of dating at all.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm going to therapy next week, so hopefully that will help.
Yay.
Amazing. Are you starting therapy for the first time?
I've done it on and off for a long time, but
this is
like
you getting back into it after a break?
Yeah.
Well, applause for that.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I did listen to your book, so taking tips from that.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, Tinx is coming out, has one coming out
another
in a week or so.
All about dating
So
from a place of self-worth. Yes.
Yeah, I definitely will. I need all the help.
And you know, I'm sure Tinx's book as well, but like, just, they're always good to like page through again, because these things, as I always say, easy in theory, hard in practice. Like, the concepts are always kind of like, of course, duh, like, what else, you know?
Yeah.
But like when we're like emotionally triggered or vulnerable or feeling a little lonely or sad, it's just very easy to like forget about all that and give into our egos and feel bad for ourselves and give into self-pity and self-loathing and things like that. And then we start making decisions to like meet our short-term needs and completely throw out what's best for us in the long run. So it's always good to kind of check in with whether it's a podcast, whether it's a book, whether it's just a conversation with a friend. It's always good to like rehash those, recheck in, remind ourselves, because again, it's so hard in practice. And then just give yourself some grace. But congratulations on therapy. I think that's great.
Thank you.
Stick with it.
Thank you.
And
sorry about your dog again.
Yeah, sorry about your dog.
Thank you.
And just remember, no, block.
I will definitely do that.
All right.
Okay, thanks for talking with me.
All right, take care.
You too.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Tinx, always a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you for having me.
So much fun. Please remind the audience about your book, where they can find it, all that good stuff.
My book, The Shift, is out May 23rd. And you can pre-order it. You can listen to the audiobook. It has lots of great dating advice about self-esteem, shenanigans, fun stories. I'm just excited to share it with the world.
If you like Don't Text Your Ex Happy Birthday, you'll love this book. Even if you didn't like Don't Text Your Ex Happy Birthday, you'll still love this book. Be sure to check it out. Thanks for listening, guys. We will see you back tomorrow. Yay. Bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.